More relaxed. Right, 20 years ago, I was pretty relaxed. When we used to have big stocks down all over the joint.
In fact, the role of omega-3 fatty acids is now coming true. We're beginning to understand that the fish oils actually are very important in brain development. Oh, right. So it's not well to sell some this, but really there are a lot of misconceptions about food. Is that good for the eyesight? It is. And in fact, in the Second World War, the British developed a carrot that was actually higher in vitamin A than normal, so that the pilots could see in the dark. So in fact, vitamin A is an important vision vitamin. I think it's totally the little process. Starlight, 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 sing tonight, starlight, starlight, make everything alright, starlight, 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 sing tonight, starlight.
Is there anything good coming up? But she's getting pretty close to 40 years now. And she had that kid, didn't she?
Yeah.
With an unknown... What?
Lourdes.
Yeah, with an unknown father.
Yeah, it was one of her body trainers.
What are her body trainers?
Apparently.
Elite. Mysteriös.
But production on the TV movie caused a rift between Sophia and her mother. Romilda returned to Italy in anger, vowing never again to speak to her daughter. To make matters worse, the Italian government was accusing Sophia and Carlo of illegally transferring millions of dollars out of the country. To return to Italy and reconcile with her mother meant possible imprisonment for Sophia, but it was a chance she felt she would have to take.
Sophia came back and decided that
What's
she
she done?
could not be excommunicated from Italy.
She had
She wasn't going to finish her
a
life
movie where she played
as an
herself,
expatriate.
doing that
So she
autobiography,
came
so
back
she
and
played her
faced
mother.
the
And the
sentence
mother
which
was
had
quite
been imposed
insulted
upon
by
her.
obviously what
She was
she
arrested and
portrayed as
found
her
guilty of
mother.
tax evasion. The
So
government
she went
sentenced
back and
Sophia
went to
to
Italy
1
vowing
month in
never
prison.
to speak to Sophia
And this
again.
was
And at the same time, Italy was accusing Sophia and her husband of
as anybody would be.
taking millions out of the country.
Terrified
serving
they were not
only
allowed to
17
do so.
days, Sophia was released. Auntie was acquitted of all charges, and Romilda and Sophia made up.
You have to pay such a price to see your family and to see your niece and to see your own country and to have your smile back in your face. I think you can do it, even though you suffer very much.
It was a dramatic climax to one of the greatest fairy tales of all time.
Today on 11 a.m, Aboriginal groups being deserted by Senator Harradine. Also, Olympic swim legends, the draw for tickets, and movie sing star Nia Davenport.
Thank you for telling me how much you enjoy my Dima tea. I've devoted my life to tea, and now my boys are following in my footsteps. Once you tasted my Dima, you tasted the finest tea on it.
10 days.
Do try it.
Okay, baby. As a relax for a while. Save up the energy you get low for the food.
But I have, baby. I have.
That's rather good. The biggest retailer of electrical appliances.
Your own
Not the
health.
retailer of the biggest electrical appliances.
Me taking care of all your best
What
interests.
is the taste you'll love to come home to?
No, I'm speaking
What
the
is
truth.
Ritalina's?
We take the pressure pasta and a puro with the salsa. We microwave a zappa and give a little pasta. Mucho no le sé, casi todo mucho costa.
What should that be?
Not a bar, mucho better, top of quality. Even though they get a bag of money guarantee. Nicolinas. Not a bar, mucho better, top of quality. Nicolinas.
It's also here. Maybe that's. Oh no, I don't believe it.
I don't usually
That's
have a lot of
why I
time
think
to style my hair, so
It was going on
compared
to
to
my
what they
ear
need,
yesterday.
I don't think I should have to spend a lot of money on shampoo and conditioners, no. After I get out of the shower, do a bit of a shake and dry it off, and makes your hair nice and soft and shiny and fun as well. If you look good, you feel good. So if you're Julia Roberts, no. I'm not as tall as you, right?
It's huge! Christie's, your homemaker shopping centre's strong take sale. Save on furniture, bedding, electrical, carpets, blinds, home entertainment, camping and leisure, homewares and much more. Everything for your home and more. Don't miss it, it's on now. Christie's, your homemaker shopping centre stock take sale on the corner of Canterbury and Chapel Road, Bankstown, and the corner of Victoria Avenue and Branston Road, Castle Hill, opposite Panel
Bye,
Hall.
love.
It's
I angel.
Even though it's of your best interest.
Baby train me.
Yeah.
There's no hope. Only the very sick on these many days of disease.
Gravy Train. A job requiring comparatively little effort or work for good payout benefits, etc.
Like Greybox.
Just remember to bring the right medicine.
Greybox. Little effort, big results.
Good know.
Did you know Live Springs colloidal minerals contain over 70 important traces?
Except no other than Light Springs colloidal minerals from vitamins and minerals are sold.
Why do new uncoated oat slices taste so good? Because they're baked to perfection. Not too chewy, not too crunchy. New uncoated oat slice. Goodness never tasted
What
so
time is it
good.
supposed to be?
Wednesday, 9:30.
I say we have a visual advance,
A comic book superhero comes to life.
which slays evil creatures in the blood story.
And Sam comes face to face with Jill.
You just love to look inside my head, wouldn't you?
Profile on Wednesday on the 7th. 1991, Hollywood paid Sophia's career the ultimate compliment. She received a special Academy Award, this time honoring her lifetime of achievement in film. It was a glorious tribute to a still active career.
Getting a second Oscar for your career and all that goes through in your mind, why did you get it, why did they give it to you, the ambition and the dedication and the sacrifices, I think it has been the most wonderful moment of my life. I will never forget it, never, never, never.
But when her mother, Romilda, died later that same year, the loss to Sophia was devastating.
She was able to hold her in her arms when her mother died. And this was
of the utmost importance. She was totally broken.
I thought she never saw her
She
again.
was
No,
torn
she
apart.
went to Italy to
The
win her
mother had
back.
been both parents.
And because
and
this
she
law thing
lost
about
both parents
taking
the day the mother died.
money
Her
out
mother
of
was
the country,
the single, strongest
she was sent
influence
to
in her
prison for
life.
6 days.
She admired her so, she loved her so, she lived for her so. I think her greatest battles have been to be true to her mother's dream.
In 1992, Sophia received an appointment as a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador. The young girl who played caretaker to her family during the aftermath of World War II was now focusing her attention on the crises in Somalia and Kenya. But Sophia was still not ready to relinquish her crown as one of the world's most beautiful and acclaimed actresses. In 1994, she appeared with her beloved Marcello Mastroianni in Robert Altman's offbeat comedy Ready to Wear. The famous duo stole the show from an all-star cast. 1 year later, she sizzled as Walter Matthau's unlikely love interest in the hit comedy Grumpier Old Men.
Sophia chooses, she decides. It's really interesting, the things that she's been offered, and she doesn't have that desperation. She loved the part in Grumpy Old Man. It matched her sense of humor.
I know Malthus always said, can you imagine? Yes. They're paying me all this money to make love to Sophia Loren at my age? Because she still is the sex symbol. And whatever she has inside her, that is not going to age.
I think she's a woman for all times. She embodies womanhood. She's woman, she's mother, she's wife, she's love, she's everything. Everything that we want to be.
In an era when nothing seems to last, Sophia Loren stands as a beacon of reassurance.
Will you shut up?
Her successful marriage, her enduring career, and her ageless beauty suggest that it is possible to have it all. And the story of her struggle, from the depths of poverty to the heights of international celebrity, continues to inspire.
Isn't it glorious what can come? Somebody who really had nothing and happened to be this beautiful girl. I mean, she's a great role model.
She is a survivor, and she's a beautiful human being. She's phenomenal. When she acts, she is breathless. She is really breathless. She is glorious, magnificent. I have an idea there must be a portrait of her up in her attic that is aging every year. How she remains the same. She is one of the most remarkable actresses I've ever worked with. And
You're fighting.
quite an extraordinary woman.
Why are you doing that? Because you want to wake up peacefully and quietly, and I keep disturbing you. What can we do about that?
Oh, you look a fright.
Things start to fall apart around us. Oh Lord, you look a fright. It's something with my hair. My hair have not been done. Oh Lord.
Award-winning Better Homes and Gardens, followed by the great outdoors. Then at 8:30 All Saints and at 9:30 Chicago Home. This program brought to you by
AMP.
Oh my god.
proud partner of the
I need to get
2000 Olympic
things
Games.
a little bit of luncheon for my kibbles.
Oh yes, you must have that. Yes. It's so stupid. Step it's very weak and bad.
Can't afford to. I've not been working for quite a while now.
Oh, good morning,
I
welcome
know.
Welcome to 11 a.m. for this Tuesday, the 23rd of June, International Olympic Day, Andrew.
Yes, this is the birth, I just found out, Natalie Bartoli, I'll be doing the news in a minute, but just told me it's the birthday of the Olympic movement. This is when they conceived the idea, and 2 years later they had it.
Ooh.
Yes, over 100 years ago, 104, 103.
Terrific.
So happy birthday to the Olympics. To celebrate.
No, sometimes.
You made some
As
face.
ladies' fingers.
Off the Hainan Island. Masyarakat mengharapkan reformasi tetap dilakukan secara konstitusi sehingga peningkatan kesejahteraan rakyat sebagai tujuan akhir reformasi.
Oh, piss off of me.
Artis dari sini tahu.
Would you care to go for breakfast?
Disampaikan Kepala Perwakilan Bank Dunia di Indonesia,
Please wake up
Dennis
quietly.
kepada wartawan dalam dan luar negeri di Jakarta hari ini. Menurut Dennis Detrey, Badan Eksekutif Bank Dunia akan segera berunding di Washington
You may kiss
mempertimbangkan
me.
rencana pemberian pinjaman.
do so.
Pinjaman tersebut, kata Dennis Detrey, dimaksudkan membantu Indonesia melakukan reformasi di sektor keuangan dan perbankan, termasuk memperbaiki manajemen sektor bisnis dan mengatasi kebutuhan sosial yang mendesak. Dennis Detrey menambahkan, pinjaman untuk pemulihan kondisi ekonomi itu secara khusus mempertimbangkan tiga hal pokok, antara lain membiayai impor bahan pangan pokok.
But it's an image that's changing.
What was it I said to you one day? Give you a piece of chewing gum.
Is it again such an occasion?
No, 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 it's not. Do you fancy a piece of chewing gum, my love? You have a breath that would put a horse to sleep.
Yeah, horrible, horrible man. Oh, this is that young girl that was such a
Present for the baby in her care.
One of the parents didn't do it. Who did? It was only you left. And there was the whole feeling that somebody has to pay, and that somebody had to be me.
The damage bill from an overnight shopping centre fire in Sydney's east has been put at more than $1 million. Hundreds of Melbourne students made a hasty escape after their university hostel filled with smoke overnight following a fire in a ground floor rubbish dump. And in tennis, defending champion Sampras and Aussies Mark Philippoussis, Jason Stockton Rose, Mark Woodford and Scott Fraser are all in the second round of Wimbledon. Details on their stories in the morning news after birth at 11:30.
Australian Elite Carpet Cleaning will professionally steam clean any room in your home for just $15 per room with free deodorizing. Our jet drying system will leave your carpets dry enough to walk on. Australian Elite Carpet Cleaning 9755755.
You fool!
My fool! How can you say such thing, my love? Me having your best interest in mind. Oh. Who's your neck? Your father. Oh no. What's the matter?
I don't know, I sort of feel restless.
You feel
Move over.
I feel restless. My hormones. It's 23, 20. There's still at least 3 days for your periods, my love.
I feel like it's about to start at any moment.
Well, let me put something up to stop it immediately. Ah. Oh. Oh, you naughty woman. You're teasing me.
I'll just put that colour on your hand out, and then when you go for a shower, you wash it off.
Yes. Now I'm going to wake up kind and peaceful. Is it hurt?
isn't it? What's reaction? Oh, this was getting a bit better, wasn't it?
Shut up.
Oh Lord, see what I've done to you.
All these men.
Oh, they might not be any good.
That was a strip of the battle. 6 o'clock tonight on 10.
Louis George is with us this morning. Lovely song from the movie One Fine Day for the first time at school.
What's peckish mean?
Peckish.
Peckish. Well, you're hungry. Inside the next 5 minutes, I'll jump up and make you a sandwich. What would you fancy on it?
Jam and cheese.
Jam and cheese.
Talk.
Jam and cheese.
People of different religions.
How
I
big
think
is
that
it?
would be just a single angle to look at people. I think that would help the situation like for any of those situated there are several cultures.
Through include Jason Stoltenberg, Scott Draper and Mark Woodford. First round losers,
Wimbledon.
Rachel Cullen and
Oh,
Terry
yours!
Nugent
In the
at
middle of the
round
world
tonight.
champ football.
It was a tall order for Mark Philippoussis
My mother
up
won't be
against
doing
7th
anything
seed
for the next
Jenica
couple of weeks.
Pilnicov, who captured
She'll
the
be
first
watching.
set in a tie break. But the Scout showed a
Edwin,
renewed mental
Edwin.
toughness,
What's your
fighting
mum's
back
name?
from a breakdown to win the second before wrapping up the match in
Oh
four.
yeah, Elvis.
Philippoussis now believes he can go
Thomas.
all the way, while organisers hope one visitor will just plain go away. A semi-finalist 2 years ago, Jason Stoltenberg was also an impressive first-round form. After losing the first set to former French Open champ Gustavo Kuerten, Stoltenberg won the next two, but lost the fourth.
Just looking
In
at
the edged fifth, he edged home 10-8. It was smooth sailing though for defending champ Pete Sampras, who beat Slovak
she
Dominic
beat the
Hrvatski
eyes.
in straight sets. The biggest upset so far has been the defeat of 11th seed Mary Pierce. She was beaten in straight sets by little-known Ukrainian Elena Tarlikova. One of the most emotional first-round winners was former champ Steffi Graf.
No, I just felt like Coke and standing all the way over here.
Oh, you can make me a sandwich while you're up there.
Oh yes, I could. I will.
To the World Cup, and England will now face England in their next pool match. At
Oh,
Montpellier,
no.
the Colombians revived their World Cup hopes. Preciado's 83rd minute goal.
Once again, England is out of the World Cup.
No, they're not. They're playing another game.
Basically, they lost
While in Toulouse,
to Romania.
struck after the break. Teenage substitute Michael Owen levelled in the 83rd minute for England, but with 8 seconds of regulation time left, Dan Petrescu pushed home the winner for
It
Romania.
wasn't Romania, it was Colombia.
Well, it was Colombia. Oh, yeah, Romania. Well, it would be.
They were probably all on coke, weren't they?
Yeah. Finished 35 points lower. On the local markets, the Australian All Ordinary fell 8 points in early
What a
trade.
humiliating
Gold
experience.
is trading at $295.30 US an ounce.
Position was weakened a long time ago. It's just basically more of the same as far as I'm concerned. We've had people making decisions about our future in this country for a very long time and nothing's changed.
And nothing changes whether, depending on the government too, is that what you're also
Nothing
saying?
changes, yeah. Faces change, that's all. The politics remain the same.
Do you think Senator Brian Harradine in that position, holding the balance of power, is
You're recording my text.
The least thing I think he is representative of Aboriginal viewpoints.
he can consider
Following the fact you're a sandwich.
stay on
How
your
designed
side, or do you
you
think
were.
he's softening and moving the other way?
I think he's softening, and it's not because of his concerns about Aboriginal peoples.
What do you
Right,
think
I
it is?
think it's more about Brian Harradine's future that has motivated his direction or his decisions.
Actually, on that point, do you think the result in Queensland was a backlash against politicians? You've sort of said something critical perhaps of a politician in the way that he's conducting himself as self-interest. Do you think in general that's how politicians conduct themselves in relation to
So
I
the
think
Aboriginal
it's
issues.
been a backlash against politicians. I think the final straw was John Howard and his core and non-core promises as far as the Australian electorate is concerned. I think we have been lied to as voters one too many times, and that's made a lot of people realise the reality of politics in this country, that it's a process of lies piled upon more lies until you get into power, and then it doesn't matter who you lie to anyway.
How do you feel about there perhaps being a double dissolution of election based on this Whig native title issue?
I think it was inevitable. I think it will happen, and I think the division that's happened in this country was clearly planned. It has been well planned. I think John Howard is probably one of the most racist prime ministers
That's
we've
what
ever
Jenny Noah
elected,
last week.
and that's the tragedy for this country.
Oh Lord.
Most fair-minded people prior to the election have already heard John Howard's racism and still voted him in.
Do you think Aborigines can win at all, or do you say you always lose?
We can win if the Australian electorate starts to look at what's happening and give to themselves what they decide is good enough for themselves.
When you say win, what would you win? What is it that you want to win?
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, people think it's all tied up in land, that we're going to steal their bedrooms or steal their yards. I mean, our people are still on the brink of extinction. I have concerns about making sure that we continue as a distinct peoples into the future, and that's the crux of my concern, that these genocidal practices, these racist policies are always designed to ensure that we remain
Did you see that little monkey?
small in numbers.
Swimming.
You don't want to be treated like every other Australian, just combine us all as all of us Australians?
I don't think any other Australians have the association that we have to country, and I think that has to be recognised. I mean, this is all about raising the levels of awareness about racism. This is all about raising the level of self-esteem within our own communities and making sure that we are able to participate in society as equals.
One more thing, if Pauline Hanson's One Nation does come to dominate the Senate after the next federal election, do you think that will be a better thing for you or worse?
I think it's a bad thing for the country that it actually gets to the stage where racism is such a
Real man, it's going to have a
visible sign of the politics of Australia. It's always been there. Every Aboriginal person that's born in this country knows it's a racist country by virtue of the fact that racism is directed at us on a daily basis. This whole native title debate has been taken over by a lot of people with vested interests. So, like I said earlier, Aboriginal people were sold out in 1994 when the National Indigenous Working Group, with the 90%, 10% deal, sold out our rights, and we've had protection while you have extinguishment.
All right, Jenny Munro, well, thank you. It's a big issue, of course, and there'll be lots more debate, I'm sure. Thank you very much for
Let's
joining.
hope that it can continue with some dignity
Now I've got to take the
and
car
some
over to
respect
Leo's.
towards the
do
debaters, and that's the only way that this debate can be conducted successfully, because if we let John Howard or Pauline Hanson control it, it really can be violence. I mean, it took a little boy to get burned in Queensland last year, the year before, for people to realise that public articulation of these violent, these racist attitudes will bring out rat bags from out of the cupboard. So I'm hoping that...
What do you mean, darling?
It doesn't come to that division in this country, but I think it will be inevitable.
Okay, Jenny Munro, thank you so much for joining us here on 11 AM.
Thank you.
Jenny Munro, the Chair of the Metropolitan Land Council. Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. Let's go away from this next topic. It is Olympic week, and if you're a member of the Olympic Club, this could well be your lucky morning. We're about to draw the first lot of games tickets on 11 AM, and who better to do the job than one of Seven's Olympic legends, Mr. Herb Elliott. Good morning, Herb.
G'day, Andrew. How are you?
Not very well, thanks for joining us. What is about to do there?
The room is
well, there's 31,800 members of the Olympic Club who will just be sitting there waiting at the moment to see who's going to get the opportunity to win free 5,000 pairs of Olympic tickets to the 2000 Olympic Games. So I'm just about to push this button. I'll make sure I don't push the delete button. And something will happen over at the printer and we'll start getting some names coming out. So here we go.
Now, what are these first tickets for? Do you know what the events are for us, or is that random as well?
It covers the full range of events, including the opening and the closing ceremonies, and all classes of events. That's finals and heats and semi-finals across the whole range of sports. So there's 5,000 pairs of them, and each week hereafter there will be 100 pairs of tickets being drawn.
So how many tickets do you think you'll be giving out by the time we get to 2,000?
Well, I know there's 10,000 being distributed today, and there's 10,000 going to be distributed in June. So I think it's about 70,000 tickets altogether over the period of the whole campaign going to be given away. So if you're not a member of the Olympic Club, you can still join, and you're crazy if you don't. It's a great opportunity to get to see free of charge, except for your membership. You get that value back in the package anyway.
So if I'm not a member now, I can and I join up, I can still win in the draw this Sunday?
Absolutely. Every week from here right through to June in the year 2000, there's going to be 100 pairs of tickets drawn, and each week there will be opening and closing the ceremony in those tickets that are being drawn. So it's a great opportunity for every Australian to have an opportunity to get to the Olympic Games.
All right, now do you have the names there? The printer work?
I do, yes. The winner that's come out of the printer.
This is the very first name, isn't it?
It is.
The very first ticket holder.
This is for an opening ceremony fair. The name is Christopher Simpson, and he comes from the Central West Coast in New South Wales, from Gorican. Hope I got the pronunciation right.
Now, I'm sure you were supposed to pull out something ending with Dado there, Herb. I thought we had a deal.
Well, you've got to be a member of the Olympic Club first, Andrew. You're a member of the Olympic Club?
No, it was my dad. It was my dad, remember?
Join up, you might stand a chance.
You're going for the show.
Tell me, what are you looking forward to most?
Oh no! What can we do?
For a shit shout and shave.
Don't say you have to shit.
As an athlete anyway to participate in Olympic Games that happens in your
Oh, here comes Elvis.
You can't really describe it. And so for an Olympic athlete.
Just might come shining through.
Another one of you.
And the glory of
What?
Oh, sorry.
Shit. Huh?
glory of love. Glory of love just might come through. And all your stupid friends have gone and ripped you off. They're talking behind your back saying, man, you're never going to be no hero. Then you start thinking about all those things that you've done. And who it was, and what it was, and all the different things you made, every different scene. Oh, but remember that the city is a funny place. Something like a circus or a zoo. And just remember, different people have peculiar tastes. And the glory of love, the glory of love. The glory of love might see you through. Yeah, but now, glory of love. The glory of love. The glory